Have a wait. Can I guess? Can I guess Dansk?
Inte dansk.
Wait, what is that?
I'm not Danish.
Oh shit! Is it? Wait. Wait. That's
It's close.
Swedish?
It's close. Inte Swedish. Inte svenska.
Fuck. Then it's Norwegian.
Men jag kan prata lite svensk.
It's always the last one.
Också inte norsk.
Oxa? Wait.
Jos sä aloitat, että mä alan puhumaan äidinkieltä, niin tässä tulee sitä. Että siis
Okay, that's really Finnish.
Yeah, that's really Finnish.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
Suomi perkele, okay. Let's okay, I think it's time to torilla tavataan.
Joo, damn. Suomi mainittu.
That's okay, that's all you're getting out of me though. Oh wait. And what is it like? Yksi kaksi.
You learned all the essentials.
Yeah, from Radio Rock, Bistefi.
Yeah, that's the best radio station in Finland.
Is it? I discovered it myself and I thought it was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I at least I like it.
Okay.
The hosts are really funny.
Well, I can't understand what the fuck they're saying, but they seem to have a lot of fun, so...
Yeah, that might be a bit of a blockage for you, though.
Yeah, true. But, you know, the ads are really interesting to listen to.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea what's going on, and it's like, oh, okay.
Man, if you knew what they were talking about, you'd be laughing twice as much.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like if it's like an intro for a song or if it's an ad. Sometimes I don't know the difference. I just wait if a song starts playing or not, and then it's like, oh, that was an ad. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can know. Okay, so you are 227 Adele. That's already 2 questions answered.
Yeah, actually 229 now.
229. Okay, working hard. Good. So you already got 2 levels, so that seems like you have a lot of time to play.
Well, yeah, pretty much. During the COVID, I'm working from home, and I can play during my work days, and pretty much I spend all the time after work playing. So yeah.
Wait, don't all Finnish people just always work from home?
Not all, but during COVID, pretty much everybody.
I thought you guys really liked your personal space.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I always joke that COVID would get nowhere in Finland because everyone always stays 500 feet away from each other anyway. So.
Yeah, it was really funny. Once the biggest outbreaks were coming, we had like 100 cases in the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Italy is like fucking burning down.
Yeah, they're being like passed by everyone else now though. But they started Italy and Spain started pretty rough.
Yeah. Indeed.
But yeah, now a lot of other bigger countries are that didn't take it as seriously are getting crazy numbers now.
Yeah, exactly. USA is kind of in shambles if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what you get when you don't take it seriously. I hope that they get over it quickly though. But yeah, not too quickly, opening up and everything. But yeah, let's stick to your gear progression.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you play? Do you have like 1 computer, 2 computers?
I actually have 3 computers now. I just recently got a second one, and I trained a Kana on my second account up to 120, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. But I'm not really sure whether I'm gonna be really getting that much out of the Kana. I mean, for the 8K Legion, it's gonna be really important for sure. But other than that, it's not really clear to me what the benefits are for another account and another Kana.
Well, yeah, the main value before was that you just have always the added boost spawn, right? So it's a lot harder to do now.
Yeah.
What some people do... Yeah?
Yeah, the only thing is that I'm not going to go over 220 on that pitch.
Mm-hmm. You're not feeling it?
Yeah, no. without Legion, without Link skills.
Mm-hmm.
No way. I also hate Kana, so that's another factor there.
Maybe keep this one, and then when there's a Terra burn or something, make one.
Yeah, that might be. that might be a possibility. With
Um,
wording it wouldn't be bad.
yeah. Yeah, so the main value used to be just, you just press Kishin and then you always have the extra spawn. Now with the 50% uptime, it's mainly a question of there's a few things that people do. There's like a low effort and a pretty high effort. One low effort is basically you strip your character. You just keep arcane power and you keep your weapon, but you keep like a weak weapon. And then you use Kishin and then basically you just put on your Circle of Suppression, which is the hyper skill that shoots out like damage every now and then. And then because of that skill and because of the Yosuzume, which sends like little dolls flying around, all of the hits have a chance to trigger the Night Ghost Guide. And then when the Night Ghost Guide gets triggered, it increases the duration. So if you put Kishin somewhere and then you teleport around a little bit, and then you put the character in another location and hopefully triggers the Night Ghost Guide a few times, usually you can get your uptime to around 75% to 80%.
Right.
And then the try hard method is that you put it somewhere in the map where it can hit monsters that you don't really hit in your rotation of your character, and that you like put a keyboard on the ground or something and put your foot on like the space bar where you have your Shikigami haunting, and then you're just constantly doing Shikigami haunting, but again with like no damage, so you're just hitting a few monsters all the time, and that triggers the Night Ghost Guide to like constantly go off, and that basically creates infinite Kishin. Is like the more try hard method.
Yeah, right. That's actually really useful. I didn't know that.
Yes, so those are options. If you're like feeling up for it, then you can do that. How are you usually with your totems? Do you like run out of totems or?
Well, last month I did. Well, yeah, I do. I ran out of totems, yeah, because I don't want to train without a totem. I just got too used to them.
Well, that's
So
another.
that's not
Yeah, that's
Kana.
yeah. So Kana can also count as a second way to get totems. In that you, especially with the relay, right? Just AFK and grab reward points and then buy out totems with it, and then just put the totems with the Kana.
Right. I didn't even think about that. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't do that, then you'll have to do some bosses and maybe some monster collection to get points.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe, have you ever checked ! reward points? That has some way of getting reward points and maxing out for totems. But maybe even if you can connect like a Maple M account to your Kana account, then you can get
It's like 500 reward points for. What do you have to do on MapleStory M to get the reward points?
I have it in the video, but basically there's just a few quests per day that you can do. It's like kill X amount of monsters, loot X amount of items, use X amount of potions, and then there's like a skill that you build stamina up for, and then if you have the stamina, you just click the button, and I think you have to activate that skill 3 times in a day or something.
Right.
4 out of 5, you can just go to a mini dungeon and just auto hunt, and it'll just do it for you in the background. You don't even have to do anything, and it takes like 10-15 minutes. And then for the other skill, you just have to go into the game every now and then, just click the button if it's charged, and that's it. And that should get you 500 reward points per day. So if you do that every day, that's 15,000 in a month. So that's enough for, is it 8? Yeah, I think that's like 8 totems already. So that's like half of your monthly max already on the second account.
Yeah, and you just monster collect or run bosses for the rest.
Yeah, if you feel like do regular Root Abyss, that's like 200 per days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can get up to like 1,000, well, you don't even need 1,000 a day, right? Because you need way less now. 15 times 18 is 270k. So if you, 27k, I mean. So if you get 27k points in a month, then that's enough. So that's not like 900 points a day.
Yep.
So that's not too bad. I think with Maple M and I think that's doable, and then you can just have it as a second totem mule, and it'll be easier. That'll be the lowest effort one, right? it's like a little bit of prep, but then it's just put down totem every 2 minutes, and then just press one button. So it's basically back to using old Kishin, but it's a little more set up to get to that point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you
Yeah,
could consider at that point not even having it be a kana, but having it be like a bishop or something, so that even for the mules you can maybe use totems
yeah,
and give holy symbol.
right.
The downside might be that the character might be a little bit harder to level to get to the point, and leveling the kana by itself is still very easy. So
Yeah, well, it's not too bad. I don't really mind leveling level characters. I actually enjoy it quite a bit.
okay. But yeah, so those are kind of like the options of the second PC. So whatever feels comfortable for you, and yeah, maybe working on a few of those things together will get you enough totems. Maybe you can get like 10 or 12 or something in a month.
Yeah,
That'll already help you quite a bit, I think.
yeah, sounds really good.
Okay. And so, like, what do you do for money? Like, how much money do you roughly make in like a week?
Well, at the moment I'm kind of in a limbo. The thing is, I quit when I had a suicide kana for bye farming,
Mm-hmm.
and it has the max meso gear, but it's under leveled. It's 190 now, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and I should level that up. And I'm kind of contemplating on whether I want to farm on my main or whether I want to farm on the kana. So
Sure.
I kind of have a mixed match of a bit of meso gear on the Adele at the moment,
Okay.
but I haven't made my mind, and I was kind of hoping you could help me decide.
One thing people are trying now, which apparently isn't horrible rates, is meso farming at Forsaken Excavation Site 2.
Hmm.
Because the map layout is very simple, right? You can just put some summons on the bottom to kill the stray lambs that drift to the side. You can put Kishin somewhere, just Exorcist Charm in the middle. Domain hits like most of the map once you get to 200.
Right.
And then like Suicide once you get to the far levels there. The reason is not just that you get like a lot of money per kill, but you just get a lot of kills. There's just a lot of monsters on that map.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then the downside, of course, is that if you don't go into Vanishing Journey, you don't get a lot of nodes. So that might be a
Hmm.
downside. And for if you would go further, no droplets, of course. The upside
Hmm.
though is that there's also a lot of familiars dropping in that area,
Right.
so that you could use it to farm familiars for your main as well, if you or for other characters if you need to get drop rate familiars, healing familiars, IED familiars, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. For
So
sure.
people
I'm
are kind
lacking
of
familiar so badly.
yeah, so people are definitely experimenting with that. So maybe temporarily farming there until you feel like you have enough familiars and you're able to move on, and then make the push to hopefully by that time people have like left Choo-Choo a bit, Lackline a bit, Arcana maybe even a bit, and started moving on from there, that you can kind of
Hmm.
fill in and come
Yeah.
in and find maps. Although you're playing in EU time, right? So it shouldn't be super hard to find maps
Yeah,
if you're
that's
playing
correct.
earlier
I
in the
can.
day.
Yeah, I can find. I was farming in Slurpee. I could find a map in like every time I wanted to go.
Hmm.
So finding a map hasn't really been a problem so far, at least.
At least the 30 channels helped a little bit in that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's an option. And other than that, it's just keep leveling, keep going, and then you add node stones and then later droplets as a.
Yeah, because I was kind of thinking about the Meso gear on the Adele. If I can still one shot Arcana,
Mm-hmm.
um, was kind of thinking that I would be getting both of best worlds, getting Mesos, droplets, and nodes
Yeah, yeah.
until I can get the Kana up to Arcana.
Yeah, that's what I like to do is have to make sure that you have no real drop in kill speed, but that you do have like an increase in the amount of drops and the amount of money that you get while training, and then basically just hitting two birds with one stone. Of course, it's less optimal than fully meso farming, but it's as optimal as fully training on the character, but you're making more money while you're doing it. So I feel like you're hitting a sweet spot where it's better than both situations. I think where it's better than only training, and it's better than a combination of farming and training, in my opinion. But
Yeah,
I guess it kind of depends on whether you feel like the rates on your character are good enough, and whether you feel like training a kana is like really boring, or it's actually really fun for you. Like that does play into it.
yeah. The thing is that Kana is really not my jam. Well, it's just not. But yeah.
Yeah, so what I like to do is just go for a combination set where I hit 5 lines of mezzo and 4 lines of drop at least.
Yeah, that was actually what I'm going for at the moment on the Adele.
Yep. And then
I've been getting.
you hope that you get one double line in there, but that's never guaranteed.
Yeah.
And then you try to get at least 1 line of strength on top of the utility line. Because 9 times the 9% extra is 80% strength, so 81.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice. Yeah, and then by upgrading everything else and leveling your nodes and leveling your symbols and everything, you maintain your one shot, quote unquote. Of course, one shotting is never really means that everything one shots. It just means that you reasonably can kill all the spawn before it respawns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, I think that's what most people mean. But sometimes when people say like, "Oh, I can one shot," some people think that means that every single instance of damage you have, just like whenever it touches something, it instantly dies. Like that's. It's like when
E-Firstborns are for sure not one-shotting.
Yeah, it's like in League of Legends when people say I got one shot, but then they got hit by like 5 skills, and it's like, well, you didn't get one shot. Like you got blown up, and like you got comboed, you got blown up. You didn't really get one shot because you got hit by 5 things, right? One shot is literally like one skill, 100 to 0. Like that's a one shot, but colloquially it gets used very differently. So
Yeah.
so that's what I usually aim for because then you have no loss in kill speed, but you get way more money. So the small downside is that you're probably going to be rotating the maps a little bit differently, a little bit quote unquote suboptimally because you're having like a lot of bags of money everywhere that you don't want to see go to waste. So your experience will go down maybe a little bit, but the amount of money will probably more than double because of usage of coupons and that kind of stuff. And so the other factor that goes into like how much do you dictate to, or not dictate, what's the word I'm looking for? But how much of your time do you commit to this one or to the kind of also depends on like what's your Legion coin income as to like, are you able to cap on multiple characters or does it, like what's your income there?
Well, I don't really have an answer for that. I mean, I'm never like having too many Legion coins. That's for sure.
We can calculate it. So we can see your Legion power, right?
Yeah.
Is about 120 mil. So your Legion power, I don't know if you know this, but your Legion power is how much damage your Legion does to the dragon every second.
Right.
So that's 120 mil. And then you do times 60 for every minute, times 60 for every hour, and then times 24. So that's how much damage you do to the dragon passively in 1 day. And then you get 1 coin for every 100 billion damage.
Right.
So you get 103.68 coins, and then you add your 30, right, for the daily. So you get about 133, 134 coins is what you get per day.
Yeah, so about 2 coupons.
So for everyone watching the video and everyone at home as well, this is how you can calculate like what your income is.
That's nifty.
Yep. And then you can also see like mine is like 400 something. So it's like almost 4 times. So you can see like how huge of a difference that will make.
Yeah, so that makes me think I have a bunch of mules with no Star Force on their gear and shit. I think with a couple 100 mils, I think I can get the Legion raid power up a bit.
Possible, yeah. I mean, you're very close to 6k for the big grid, but that only puts 1 extra character in, so that's not like a huge increase. The bigger increase there is the grid bonus if you start moving the pieces in there.
Yeah. I'm actually like 7 levels from 6k Legion. I'm gonna make a 3rd thief to get the 3rd link skill, so that's gonna break the 6k.
Yep. Okay, cool. So these are your 2 setups. Yeah, you're not like min-maxing super hard because the 6k is soon anyway, and then you have to move everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know about the Legion builder?
Do you mean the... Yeah, I do.
Okay. So yeah, once you get the 6k, then you can use that to optimize.
Yeah, for sure. I tried it out a couple of days back, but I just set in my characters, and then I didn't want to do any changes to the grid since I'm gonna hit 6K soon. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yep. So you have this boss. Yeah. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Oh yeah, so when it comes to like Legion and Lynx, what is the next stuff you're working on?
Well, with Lynx, I'm missing the third thief adventurer, a third mage, but that's pretty much it.
Third
And
mage.
then I just need to level them up. I have pretty much all the Link skills.
Mm-hmm. We can definitely I think we can look for so if you get the third mage, then you're gonna replace elementalism, right?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
And then Keen Edge can be upgraded as well.
Yeah.
Who do we upgrade Keen Edge with?
Good question.
Let me check. Because I see the useful ones in there. Ah, it is Wild Rage. You don't have Wild Rage in there. The Demon Avenger.
Oh, I didn't. Damn, that's actually a mistake by me then. I usually have it on.
It's,
Yeah, that's true.
it's easy to overlook one, yeah.
Yeah, that's the Keen Edge. I set in Keen Edge by mistake.
Mm-hmm. That one is like way on the top. Maybe I overlooked it. Yeah, so the DA instead of Keen Edge, and then once you have the 3 Explorer Mages, those instead of Elementalism, and then yeah, the other 2 added. And then the only upgrade is getting stuff to level 3.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the thing is that I've been really lazy about leveling to 200.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much all my mills are stuck on 140 unless they do burn to 200.
Well, that's one of the one of the major things why why can't I zoom in anymore? One of the major things why you said that you're lacking so much Legion power. I think that's also because of their individual levels. Because Star Force is nice and everything, and it adds damage, but levels are way more important.
Right. Yeah.
Just individual characters from.
Yeah, you can see from the Battle Mage and the Night Lord, they have pretty much same kind of gear, but a couple of levels them. So
yeah, that's 33% more just for the. Let me see if I can see it on my character, the difference, but. Well, I only have level 200, so you wouldn't be able to see. Damn, hang on. I don't have a lower level character to compare it to. I think I have a 180. Yeah, this character is level 180 and has 4.7 mil, and then this one is... I don't think this stuff is even Star Forced yet, but this one has 8.4 at level 200.
Right, yeah.
It's like you're almost doubling for 20 levels, so if this is a 140 with low Star Force, then the difference becomes just insane.
Huge.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then that basically means you're doubling your income for daily coins, and that gives you just way more freedom to spend coins and to maybe do a little bit of meso farming and not be like, well, you don't have any. If you want to meso farm, but you don't have any coupons left, it's like, well, might as well just grind on the main because then, you know.
Yeah, tit for that.
Oh. Do you still play the Evan every now and then?
Oh yeah, every now and then. The Evan is my old main. The story of my MapleStory history goes pretty much that I started it back in 2006 when I was a kid. I played until like 2013, quit, came back around 2017, and quit pretty much when bye-bye was still a thing. And now just like, well, this year actually, in the beginning of this year, I'm back to MapleStory and was really fucking overwhelmed by everything.
Yep.
All the events and everything. So the Evan is kind of lacking in gear.
High level, but not really up to speed when it comes to. So you wouldn't be able to do like CRA with the Evan.
Well, I think I can do Pier, but that's about it.
Because that's one other way, right? That you can make some money if the Night Lord and the Evan are strong enough to like CRA every week in a reasonable time frame. That's like an extra 200 mil that they can make. And
Yeah, well, a daily rotation I do. I run all the daily bosses at least on all the three characters there. So the Night Lord and the Evan
mm-hmm.
and the Adele.
And when you say
So
all
that's
the daily bosses, which ones do you mean?
I mean, well, pretty much all of them.
Okay. And that's like a fun thing you do, or do you do it for money, or you do it?
I do it for money. I do it for soul charge and for reward points, pretty much.
Okay.
Soul charge are the thing at the moment because I'm missing max soul.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You wanna build up a bank of those. That's true.
Yep.
Okay. So you're mainly running the double S bosses.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you're doing like Ranmaru, normal Magnus, normal Arc,
Yep.
normal Rudibus.
Yep.
Yep.
And Heartful Leon,
Uh huh.
shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that give 7 million, around 7 mil per
Oh yeah.
crystal.
Normal.
Those
What
are
is
the
it?
ones
Normal
that I do.
Papulatus, I guess.
Yeah, normal Papulatus, Run Maru, Heartful Leon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So that you're
And
making some income from that as well. That's good.
yeah, and running Music Sickness on all of the characters, those three characters that I can.
Okay. And do you feel like the balance between how much time is going into that versus how much time is going into main? Do you feel like that ever takes time away, or do you just enjoy
Nah.
the change up?
Yeah, I enjoy the change up. Sometimes I just get fucking super tilted by farming or something, then I just log off and run through the bosses. It takes me like 15 minutes to run through them, and then I just can clear them and
Yep.
get back to it.
Yeah, that's good. It's good that you're trying to like find a balance that works for you. That's the most important thing. I'm not gonna say like you can't do this or you have to do that. Like as long as you feel like it makes sense for you and you're happy with that, then that's all that really matters.
Yeah, I'm
As
really
long as it's
so.
not like super out there, as like, well, I'm going on 28 mules every day to do Zakum because I
Yeah,
want to sell the crystal. Then I'll be like, well, have you thought about maybe not doing that because that does end
yeah,
up taking a lot of time. But if that's what's fun for you and it's like within the boundaries of like it still helps you, then that's fine.
yeah, for sure. And well, since I have a lot of time playing, especially at the moment, I don't really see a problem with just running the bosses.
Yep. Okay, I was wondering where your critical rate was coming from since you didn't have the
Yeah,
Phantom Link,
that
but now I see your invulnerability, and my
yeah,
question is answered.
yep. It was actually really funny. I rolled to unique with honor XP.
Mm-hmm.
It took like two or three clicks. I bought three circulators, used two, and got the critical rate line.
Mm.
So that was pretty easy.
Pretty easy, yeah. So eventually it's not what you want, I think, but I think eventually you want
Yep.
crit on the second or third line. I ended up getting this with the circulator, so that was lucky for me. Because 20% crit like doesn't exist.
Oh dear God.
I don't like it. But yeah, I hit this with one circulator, like these two lines, and this one as well, but yeah.
Damn, this is beautiful.
Yeah. After not too many as well, so I'm gonna keep that probably forever.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
um
no, I was really lacking critical rate before I rolled the IA,
mhm.
so that was really like a savior to get me up to 100% and to lose the Phantom Link.
Yeah. So the replacements for the critical rate, and we don't want to get the Phantom Link invoked, of course, would be either a little bit of critical rate in your Legion. It would probably be leveling up the characters in your Legion that give you critical rate. So like the Night Lord, and well, the Night Lord is already there, but like the Marksman probably isn't that high yet, right?
No, it's 140. I just made it.
Yeah, I mean that's already pretty close because I think you only get 1% extra from
Right.
140 to 200, so that's already really close. It would
Yeah,
be
but
the
I'm so not gonna train it as a marksman. It's gonna be a bowmaster for sure.
yeah, that's definitely easier. The other thing would be like the Beast Tamer link to level 3. That's 3%.
Yep.
And then of course you can level up the hyperstats more as you get more points, and leveling past level 10 on the other ones gets super expensive instead putting it to critical
Yep.
rate. So you're now at 3, so there's up to 12% to be gained there. So 15, 16. So
Yeah, and actually the hyper stats are something that I need to reset. I'm running 5 on strength, and that's a fucking mistake.
hmm. If you're running 5 on strength, 1, 2, 4, 8, 10, 25 and 25 and 15, 65, 6, 71 points. That means you can roll critical damage and boss damage both from 9 to 10 if you reset.
Yeah, yeah,
So you'd be at 3, 10, 10, 10, 10.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's possible, yeah. And it'll only cost you 10 mil, so that's an easy switch. So that's 4% more boss damage and 1% more critical damage. That'd be
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, it's definitely more valuable than the 5 but yeah, we talked about this with other people as well. Like in the beginning when you set those big points and you kind of run out, you add like 1 point into strength, 1 point into attack, and then you slowly add up as you level, but then at a certain point there's enough points in the other ones combined that if you reset again, then finally you can level up the big ones again. But there's no real,
yep.
yeah, it's not like a huge thing, but you know, the further you go, a few percent extra here and there does have a pretty big impact.
Yeah, it builds up.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so for long term, building up your honor experience, maybe do one Legion run, sorry, not Legion, one dojo run every week.
Yeah, that's something I have to add to my schedule.
Yeah.
I haven't been doing dojo at all.
But yeah, it's just one run a week, so that's not too bad. If you get more drop rate and maybe the drop rate familiars that we talked about, then maybe you'll get more honor experience dropped as well while you're training. So that'll just help you get passive income from that. And just as you start doing more bosses and the harder level bosses, especially more weeklies, those drop a lot of honor experience as well. So you'll just slowly be building up over time until you get to the point where you want to reroll. If you get lucky and you reroll either a 10% critical line or a 20% critical line with circulators, then the switch will be very easy because then it's just, by that time, probably you added a little bit more crit. Your Legion will be bigger. And at that point, it's just adding your hyperstats into crit, and that'll probably be enough with the line, a lower percentage line in legendary inner-ability, and then you'll have enough to stay at 100%. And then it's all just a matter of like locking and waiting for 50% off to get your boss damage on your top line.
Yep.
And then that's that's pretty straightforward there.
So it's boss crit, and what do you reckon for the third line? If like anything goes, or 18 attack, or...
I tell most people just not to even think about getting anything useful in your third line. Just getting your desired second and then a good first is already like hugely difficult. I think they want to attack. Let's see where it is. Adele. You want cooldown skip on your top one. That's right. So if you had either 10% boss, I guess, or 21 attack, it's probably pretty good for your third. But eventually you want cooldown skip on the top one. I might reroll for that later, but right now... Yeah, I think they're pretty close, but we'll have to see like numbers of people who are testing all this stuff to see how big the difference really is and how important that really is. But yeah, there's a lot of like internal cooldowns and skill cooldowns on Adele, and everything going on possible skip is pretty useful, of course.
Yep.
Okay. Your matrix is pretty set, right? You have all your combination of 4. Oh no, you have 3 cleaves, I see.
Yeah, I do. I wanted to get it up to 40, get the PDR.
Yep.
But
the IED, you mean?
My cat, the IDD. I mean, yeah. Well, that was actually a rash decision because every now and then my cat does this catnip thing and logs on my account and does stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
That's
it was.
Dog ate your homework.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. But yeah, eventually you can reset that once you open more boost nodes and you find the trinodes. They're not super difficult to get for Adele, so it should be easy to move them around eventually.
Yeah, for sure.
But you've got all the right skills.
I'm sitting on about 150 node stones at the moment, so I think that's not gonna be a problem.
So you have 1 bloom, 1 destruction, and then 3 cleaves and 3 other things, right?
Yeah, either boom, yeah.
Yo, thank you for the sub, dude. Welcome to Scardor. Yeah, so Forge and Cleave are like over boosted, and then Bloom and Rain are a little bit under boosted now. But yeah, that shouldn't be too bad to fix that situation eventually.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, as long as you know like what you're aiming for and what you're looking out for whenever you open nodes, then you should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so organically we covered the IA part and the matrix, so that's good. From the other things on the list here, flames, flame score, transfer hammer, transposing, IED, is there anything on this list that you feel like you could use a little bit more information on?
Oh well, if I'm not mistaken, transposing is really for the path mark, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and dominator pendant now as well into.
Oh yeah, true that,
yeah.
yeah. And actually, I have to dump the transpose, but yeah, that's pretty much clear for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
that's pretty much all transposing. Yeah.
yeah, transfer hammers, that's all good. I got that. And flames and flame scores, I understand the concept, but I haven't really just put my head around it
Mm-hmm.
yet.
Yeah, it's basically just a way of trying to figure out if a flame is good enough or if you still need to work on it. But I think the main thing is that flames kind of just go up as you're leveling. They're not one of the main sources of damage. I mean, it's one of the 3, right? You have just potential, Star Force, and flames. Like, those are the 3 main things. But potential and Star Force are way more important to play around and to be prepared for because they have events that are connected to them, and then when events come around you want to be prepared. But flames never have events, so it's more like something you kind of like passively work on as you get a flame drop from boss and as you save them up. And it's not like
go out and buy 300 flames and do it all all at once.
yeah, that's more something you do when you're kind of like settled in a situation where you know you're going to have everything for a long period of time, and then you start working on your flames to kind of min max, and hopefully by that time you've already hit your priorities, like your weapon has a good flame, and your highest level equips that have flame advantage will have a good flame, and then apart from that you just work on the lower level ones, and then you work on the ones that just get shit flames to kind of min max. And because all of that does add up as well. If you have like 6 equips, 7 equips that don't have flame advantage, but you can still get like 30 flame score on all of them, it does end up with like 300, like 200 plus strength, right? So it's still very useful, of course, but not a priority. So as long as you're aware of like how it roughly works and how you can compare, and if you loot something that you know, like, oh, this is actually very useful, this can come in handy later, or you know that, oh, this is a shit flame. You know the difference between like which items have flame advantage and which one don't, so you know where to prioritize your flames. As long as you're aware of all of that, then you're good for now.
Yep. In that case, I'm good for now.
Okay. And IED, functional visual IED.
Yeah, I get the concept. Never calculated my functional ID.
Mm-hmm. Well, as long as your visual is like 89 now, right? So it'll go up a little bit. You definitely have your boost node already kicking in for your higher level skill, and then you have your the mage skill soon with extra 9%. I think that's well, and you have some extra ID, I think, on a passive hyper skill, right?
Yeah, I think so too. Let me check.
I think there's one that's armor break. Oh wait, I'm on my Adele. I can check. Yeah, trigger the.
Yeah, trigger guard break.
Trigger skills. Which are the trigger skills?
Pretty much plummet, the thing where you go down, so and all of your main attacking skills.
Main attack skills. So there's cleave and plummet.
Yeah, plummet is I think it's a 3rd job skill, might be. Oh no, it's 4th job.
4th job, yeah.
And then it's just the skewers and the eviscerates and the older job.
Oh yeah, okay.
Skills.
So it's mainly for cleave. So the cleave gets another extra 20% IED.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's good. And the debuff. That's an extra 10% ID from Grave Proclamation. That's also nice. But that's not 100% uptime, so you can calculate that as like fully, but it's a pretty decent uptime, right? It's...
yeah, it's... hold on.
It doesn't say how long it lasts. That's interesting.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not 100% uptime, and it depends on the boss, because phase shift, if the boss phase shifts, the mark goes away.
Mm-hmm.
And also, obviously, if you die, it goes away and so on.
Yep.
So it's not 100% uptime for sure, but pretty close to there.
And then Noble Summons debuff also does 10% IED increase. Also for party members, but yeah, little stacks of 10% is nice, but it's not like a huge, like a huge change.
Yep.
But it's looking pretty. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, so that means that for everything C-Val, like up to C-Val, you definitely don't have any problems. And I think your functional IED is probably at the point where you want it to be for Lotus and Damien as well. Have you, like, what kind of bosses have you already killed and tried to kill so far?
Well, I've cleared Hard Magnus 3 doors. Well, I could kill C-Val if my mechanics weren't a fucking dumpster fire.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
Is it something you're actively practicing, or?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's just that I've always played really casually, so I'm pretty much now getting more into, like, playing a bit more hardcore and getting my mechanics and my movements down.
Mm-hmm. And you got a little bit of the the EU ping going on.
Yeah, that's a factor as well, and at the moment my movements are a bit frantic, so I'm just running around like a headless chicken.
Yeah, if you start, the thing with a lot of bosses is in the beginning stages you'll panic more, first off.
Yep.
And that'll cause you to make more mistakes and become like self-fulfilling prophecies, like, oh, I don't want to die, so I'm going to move around a lot, but then you die because you move around a lot.
That's exactly what's happening with me, and at the moment I'm also too much in a rush to kill the boss. So I'm trying to like take it down in 2 minutes when in reality I should be whittling it down bit by bit.
Yeah, maybe like 8 minutes, 9 minutes. In the beginning, way in the beginning, if you're just working on survivability, you'll probably play a little bit too safe, and then you'll just run out of time and he's not even half dead. And then you're like, okay, so I have to take more chances, I have to deal more damage. And then usually you start taking a little bit too much risk, and then you start dying out. And then you try to find like the middle ground between like, okay, this skill is really just scary, I have to get away, or this skill is not too scary, I can use this. One thing I will say, because I think I uploaded the video of me killing all of CRA with my Adele. Have you seen that video?
Yeah, I have.
One thing I added to my rotation since then is, are you using Impale?
Yeah, I am.
Because one thing I found very useful is to use Impale and then Resonance Rush through the boss every now and then, just to keep the stacks up, because that gives you IED as well, right? That's extra IED and final damage.
Yeah, that's something.
And it gives you dash mobility, like horizontal mobility, that you don't have to jump for. So in some bosses, like maybe in Chicken, when the clocks are falling in the end, for example, if you use that instead, you can get like horizontally get a nice distance and damage him and keep your debuffs up all at the same time. And it's like safer than having to jump up, because then if a clock is falling quickly, that could hit you. And same thing with Magnus, right? If the balls are falling there.
Yep.
I don't. Just checking. If you're already using that, then that's fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to, but EU ping is something that kind of fucks that up, because
if you get a stutter, then
Resonance Rush doesn't like activate correctly, and then I just run into something.
I've also noticed that sometimes the rush throws the crystal out of your range, and then you're using the dash and it's not activating. You have to like walk up to it first. And the main problem I found with Adele and with bossing is that you have to turn your transparency not too low so that you can still see the crystals. or not too high, I guess, so you can still see the crystals, but also not too low because then you can't see anything anymore, and you have to like find the sweet spot that works for you, where you kind of still see
Yeah,
the
I think
crystals, so you know where to teleport to, but you don't die whenever you have like infinite blade on, and you just the whole map is pink and purple,
yep,
and yeah.
yep. And another thing with the resonance rush is that when you impale and you set the crystal, and then you're attacking, and then it spawns a fucking crystal right next to the boss when
Yeah,
you rush.
when you go
You
to the
just
wrong
rush.
one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you rush in place right where the tail was that you were trying to get away from, and then
That is exactly what I mean.
at least you have a pretty good iframe, right? The if you the timing is a little bit tricky, but if you use the iframe correctly,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a very and it's a pretty low cooldown as well on Ether Guard. I think that's a very useful skill.
Yeah, it's a really, really good skill.
Just tank one tail and then get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it saved me a bunch of times. But
True
yeah,
that,
of course
true
you can't be saved by all the attacks, so you still have to. Yeah, it's going to be finding the middle ground between like playing too safe and also not like over rushing.
Yeah.
Which like phase of Vellum do you feel like you die to the most?
Uh, Pretty much. The tails always fuck me up. I just get stunned to tails. That's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much the only thing.
You get stunned to tails, right? So the thing that fucks you up is actually the red rocks then.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the moving too frantically comes in.
Mm-hmm. So the one thing I will say with red rocks is, do you have a bicycle?
Huh?
Do you have a bicycle?
Well,
I promise this will
what
make
do you mean?
sense. Do you have a bicycle like in real life?
Yeah, I do.
Do you have like a lock that goes through your back wheel?
Yeah, I do.
And then sometimes when you lock it, you hit a spoke.
Oh, yeah.
That's like you hitting the rock, right? Have you ever tried to like fix it by just rolling your wheel a bunch and then trying again? Sometimes you hit the spoke again, right?
Yep.
But that's because you're moving frantically. If you move controlled and you move it 1 inch, it's always safe, right? Because there's a minimal distance
Yeah.
between the spokes. And in the same
Yep.
way, there's
Yep.
a minimal distance between the rocks. So if you see a rock, you know where there's safety, and that's right behind the rock. So you have to
Right.
visualize like that area of safety that's always 100% safe. If you move anywhere past it, there could be a rock falling anywhere because you don't see the indicators on the moment that they're falling. So you have to like
Right.
kind of visualize the spokes in the wheel in the same way you visualize the safe spots in the map.
Right, I see. I see.
It's
Makes sense.
maybe a weird analogy, but you know, for us EU bicycle riders here, it makes sense. Okay, there's nothing as frustrating as trying to like get your lock in and then moving your spokes and then
Yeah.
hitting a spoke again. Like it's super annoying.
Yeah, I so know, man.
So the safest thing is just shift it like 1 inch, boom, and then it's always. Now we use inch again, so the Americans can follow. And then it's always a safe spot. It's always an easy lock. So yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Maybe that will help you. Maybe you'll think about the bicycle because it's so such a weird example.
I'm gonna have to write my notes to
Yeah,
show in the article.
like drawing a bicycle. Have you ever seen the test where they get people to draw a bicycle?
Nah.
They did this sometimes because I think only like 1 in 10 people actually draws it kind of correctly the way that a bike is actually functioning. And everyone else like starts the drawing and then is like, wait, how is this actually connected? Wait, how does this work? And there's like a lot of objects that are like floating, or the bars don't match up at all, and the seat is like way above the steering wheel and stuff. Yeah. When you think about it and you try to draw it, it's actually way more complicated than you think. But when you're sitting on it, it makes sense. So you don't think about it. Okay, so that gets us through everything in this list, right? For the mechanics and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So your stat window looks very good, but we talked about the critical rate, we talked about the boosting of the IED, we talked about the hyperstats, and about the interoperability. Other than that, this all looks like very clean, very crispy. And we talked about your dailies, about your income. Oh, you're doing like Ursus and Maple Tour as well?
Yeah, of course.
Are you doing the extra runs with the Maple points, or are you saving those up?
No, I'm doing the extra runs to get the Meso Biggie Bank at the moment.
Oh yeah, extra 1 bill. Easy climb. Oh yeah, we talked about the link skills. Yeah, so the 6K Legion, that's like a slam dunk for you right now, right? You're really close. Are you planning to go for 8K?
Oh yeah, I am. I
Okay.
am eventually. It's not a priority number one at the moment, but eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know the Lynx and Legion command that I have, right?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Yeah. So basically, I would just go back to that and just start from the top again when you're going
Okay.
for 8K, and then try to hit not level 200, but then level 210 for the important level 3 links first,
Yep.
and then go through it to level 200 with the important characters, and I think you'll hit 8K very quickly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah, because the main thing will be that once you start growing there, the Legion raid power is going to go up and up and up and up by a lot. And then the amount of coupons you have available to boost your new characters is going to be crazy, and you'll be able to buy those big potions. They give you like half a
Right.
level plus half an hour of 2x.
Mm-hmm.
And then every character is going to just blast from 140 to 200. I have under exclamation mark Legion, I have like a little bit of a funding guide for characters that you're trying to get from 140 to 200. I think as
Yep.
long as you follow that, you don't like underinvest, but also don't overinvest. You should be fine. I think.
Yeah. What was the command again?
I think it's under exclamation mark Legion, and then there's like
Right.
a I think it's like how to. Oh, here, build your Legion. So this is basically like the stuff that you can. Some of this stuff might be a little bit outdated because I think I also mentioned like just get your healing just get a drop rate familiar. So that's like a little bit you're stuck up on giant spider familiars. So that's been a little
Mm-hmm.
bit different. But like the pet and the hyperstats, yeah, how to do
Yep.
everything. Yeah, if you
Right.
follow
Right.
that,
Yeah.
then you're basically throwing like 300 to 400 mil on a character. But by the time you're done with it, as long as you have the pet and everything, you should make like 300, 350 mil back. So it's basically just a net wash. But you end up with a higher
Yeah.
level character, and then you just invest that money into the next one, and you just keep keep recycling the cash that you make from the last one. And hopefully, also
Right.
while doing this, you'll make a bunch of familiars now, and then you can just either throw those on a pile, throw them all to your Adele until you get something useful there, or
Yep.
whatever, and then you can do you know about the familiars? I guess I should add. Wait, didn't I add
Uh,
familiars here? Oh, here. Familiars. There we go. Do you know what you're aiming for with familiars at this point?
Not really. Not really. That was something that I wanted to talk about.
Okay, so I have under the familiar guide at the end. Let's see if this makes enough sense. So these are just like this is all the info about familiars, right? Just all of the numbers and like leveling it up and squeezing them together, fusing, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of
Mm-hmm.
this stuff is just information because it exists in there, but
Yep.
it's not terribly necessary. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of this you don't really use. Like if you need to know the numbers, you can look it up. But for a lot of this, practically we don't really use it all that much. The thing we practically
Right.
will use is get a lot of familiars and reveal them all. And then you'll
Uh-huh.
look, so hunt familiars that drop common and rare cards. That's going to be what you're going for because you'll basically just have more drop rate, right? Because you'll have 2 drops that can drop.
Yep.
And then just monsters that drop a lot of cards are just the monsters that you can kill a lot of. So that's why I mentioned Forsaken Excavation Site, because they just
Yep.
spawn like crazy. They're all pretty close together. They're pretty fast to kill if you're high level. And there's the combination of the things will just make it a good map. And typically the good farming maps, the good training maps in the guide are typically also the best maps to farm familiars on, just because that's where you kill the most monsters. So they're just connected that way,
Right. Yep.
which makes it even more annoying for people actually leveling characters. But sucks to suck, I guess. Yeah, if it's your map, it's your
Yeah.
map. So you
Yeah.
reveal
That's
all of
true.
them, and you're going to aim for healing, drop rate, IED percentage, and boss damage percent. So boss damage is only going to come into play with epic cards.
Mm-hmm.
And for common and rare, it's going to be IED, drop rate, and healing. That's just what you're going to be looking for. So anything that has any of
Right.
those 3 lines, you just save. And then if you find something better, you can extract the old ones. So you extract the bad ones so that you can buy a booster pack. You know how to get to the store, like the
Yep.
shop, yeah.
For sure.
Because booster packs have like common and then rare at a very high rate, and also a small chance for epic. So it's better that way to buy booster packs than to try to fuse stuff together. Because to fuse, you have to get over the fusion experience, you have to get over the fusion failure, and you have to level the familiar to level 5 by killing monsters near your level with the familiar out. It just takes way too much time. It's way more efficient to just reveal way more, get more attempts, and then to extract and to buy booster packs. Like that just makes more sense. It's just way more efficient that way. And if you happen to farm way more and you get so many familiars that you can't even buy more booster packs on your main, then what you can do is at that time you probably also have enough healing, drop rate, and ID familiars already on your main anyway. What you can do is move the familiar cards to another character and then open them there, and then there try to go for healing, drop rate, ID, and then extract the bad ones and then buy another booster pack on that, because that's 1 per character per day.
Yep.
But that's like, at that point you're already min-maxing and getting a lot of extra familiars, right?
True that.
You know, if you find an epic card, I would say move those to a character that you care about and that you want to min-max with later. With everything you do, I would say keep in mind the possibility that we could get red cards in some way, maybe for compensation, maybe for a special event, maybe at some point in a limited quantity from an event shop or something. And with that in mind, maybe having some epic familiars, maybe even making one unique or something. It could be a long-term process, but eventually that could help you min-max very later on, but don't count on it. So don't put all your eggs in that basket, but stay prepared for that possibility, I guess.
Sure, got it.
And I think this is how you can get this is like how you make the epic and everything. So does all of that make sense and put familiars a little bit more in perspective, I guess, with how important it is and can be? So I think getting 15% IED lines on common or rare is probably the best value you can get, and or drop rate, of course, and then healing can be nice, but it really only starts kicking in when the bosses get pretty difficult. So it's pretty much only lucid and up, I think. So you have some time for that. Okay. So if that's pretty much all there is to know about familiars. For it. The way that it's set up now, it feels more like a cash grab for non-reboot to just have them buy a lot of red cards, and that's basically it.
Yeah, true that. I was supposed to ask you, do you know the difference between, like, there's a line that increases item and measure drop by a small amount, then by a large amount. Do you know what percentages on those?
I think by large amount, if it's a double line large amount, it's both by around 60%. Small amount, I'm not sure if it's 40 or 20.
Yeah, because I'm running 2 drop rate familiars at the moment.
Do they both?
With the smaller, one is with item and meso drop, and one is with just drop.
Okay, yeah. So those two should stack, right? They should show you 2 buffs on the top right.
Yep, they do.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they're like both large amount or both small amount. It matters that the line name itself is different.
Yep.
So I think what the ideal setup is supposed to be is like increases item drop rate by a large amount, increases item and meso drop rate by a large amount. And then there's apparently a unique line that says increases item acquisition, which is also a different line, but it's only on unique, so it's a little bit tricky to get. But like those 3 together should give you the best increase for drop rate percentage in total, yeah.
Right. Great.
All right. I think that gets us through. Okay, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, just one more thing about the badges. Do you see, are they worth anything in your opinion?
Badges. I think hunting for 10 badges so you can unlock a third familiar on your main character is probably useful. And then for all the other ones, I would kind of just completely ignore it unless you're trying to get serious with your character.
I see.
Yes, some of those are just very difficult to get, and then I don't think it's worth your time because
some are impossible to get. So yeah.
Like a little bit of the. Oh, that's one thing I was gonna say though with familiars. One possible thing that could also happen is that you get like 15% ID and maybe some critical rate together on a familiar. That could help you as well get to that 100% that we were talking about. That will help you not feel bad that you have to like quote unquote settle for, let's say, the line that I have, right? Let's say for the 10% critical rate line. Because then if you could probably get a little bit of extra critical rate from your from the familiars, and then a little bit from the Legion, a little bit from extra characters. Maybe eventually you get the Beast Tamer to level 3. You know, something like that. If you hit the 20%, then I think you can even move towards the point where you get rid of the Beast Tamer link even, and then equip another one that's even better.
Yep. Makes sense.
Okay, so if you don't have any more questions about any of this, then we can go directly into the equips, I guess.
Yep, let's do that.
Okay, so you know your equips best already. What are your current plans? Like, what are you thinking about upgrading first?
Well, the thing was, I was contemplating about farming on my main or farming on the Kana. So at the moment, I think I'm gonna get my accessories of Legendary and get the Meso lines and the drop lines. After that, it's gonna have to be just finishing CRA and going through, basically upgrading the things that I'm gonna keep for the rest of the game. Because I'm running the fake soul labs, and pretty much my secondary and my emblem are at a point that I don't want to recoup them, and the rest of my gear is pretty much gonna be replaced by something. So kinda stuck with any other upgrades outside CRA and the accessories.
Okay. Yeah. So usually, yeah. Okay. I usually flip the order a little bit. Like I always look at weapon secondary emblem first, and then, especially for your situation and everything we talked about, then you definitely look at the accessories, right? Because they're investing into legendary helps you make the money back the fastest.
Yeah.
So that's where you look at then, and then then you look at the highest level stuff that you keep, like your CRA stuff, and then you look at so like general order. You got that pretty accurately, so that's pretty good.
The thing is that, in my opinion, at the moment, for now, my emblem and secondary are pretty much set. So.
I would agree for your secondary, but
for the emblem, I'm really contemplating like fucking 21 damage.
So let me put this in perspective, okay? So 21% damage in the grand scheme of things. When you're fighting bosses, is basically like 20% boss damage line, right?
Yeah. So it's nothing.
So if you compare it to that, like on your secondary, you have a 30% line. That could also be a 40% line, right? If it's a luckier prime, but you have the 40% IED, so they're just basically switched out. Which in your case isn't even worse because a 40% line is just really nice. But you basically have what's kind of the equivalent of like half of a weapon and secondary line that's taking up 2 lines on your emblem. So if you look at it that way, you kind of have like 1.5 line on your emblem.
Yeah, true that.
So in that case, and since it's your emblem, and since it can get percentage attack, I would say there is still a lot of room for improvement. So maybe I think recouping the emblem could actually be very important. Yeah, going for 2% lines of attack. Yeah, either 2 lines of attack, or if you hit a line of IED and a line of attack, you could keep that for now as well, and that'll kind of free you up in an earlier stage to already to reroll your secondary, because eventually you want to not have a line of 40% IED on your secondary. It's not the worst, of course, because now if you roll full attack on your emblem, let's say that you get like double prime or something, you get like 12 attack, and then a shitty third line or something, then you can keep that for a long time as well, because you're compensating the non-IED on your emblem with the IED on your secondary. So then you can keep that for a while anyway. And then what's probably going to be the best is just save up as much as you can to throw onto Absolab once you start fully making over that move.
Yep.
Because it's gonna be expensive as fuck, and you're gonna keep that for a long time, so you're gonna put a lot of effort into that.
For sure. Yeah.
So in general, your Star Force, like, you have pretty low level equips, but you're like 16 on some stuff, 12 on these.
Yeah, 12 most, a couple of 16s.
6 for 3, 25 4. 51 strength here. We don't care about this one. Item drop and damage. Ooh. Nice Dominator for now. Oh, unlucky with the Power Crystal. Trying to get trying to get drop or mezzo, instead get this. Well, I guess we're going for Sweetwater stuff then, right?
Yep. That was
might
really
as well.
Unlucky roll.
Yeah. Now what's probably going to happen is once you get the Sweetwater tattoo and you try to get it to Legendary, and then on Legendary you're going to roll a bunch of strength on that one, and then you just have to re-roll this one for drop rate anyway.
Yeah,
it's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, true that.
Because even if it's 2-line on Legendary, it's already 23, so it's already 5% higher than this, so it's... Even with the difference with the set bonus and the flame stats, once you go above 15 stars, the tattoo will definitely take this place, and then you can roll this one up without losing any kind of damage potential in your damage set. So, did you see the earrings I got yesterday? Wait, I tweeted them.
No, I didn't actually.
I killed Hard Hilla. Wait, where can I see my own tweets? Here. I killed Hard Hilla and I got this. Just standard Hard Hilla flame.
Yeah, the normal drops.
I think that's what I kept to transpose my Papulatus mark into my monocle. Or it was like 56 and 6 or something.
Yeah.
Oh no, 6. No, I had 64, but it's like, it's really close to that. Just as a drop is it's massive. It's like 105 or something. With some decks, it's like 106 and a half or something.
Yeah, that's pretty optimal.
It's kind of, a little bit broken, but it's gonna happen when you're killing a lot of bosses with a lot of characters. Like, eventually you're gonna get some crazy rolls out of that.
Yeah, sure.
You get some necro stuff with like 90 to 96 flame score, and like, oh, okay, cool. You get to show those off. Yeah. Okay, so Star Force. You got this. Okay, so how close are we to Abzo stuff? Like, you think you can clear C-Val, right? If you just clean up your mechanics.
Yeah.
And then Party, Lotus, and Damien. Have you been trying that?
No, I haven't. So, I don't really know how to find a party. That's one thing. I mean, a party with somebody who fucking knows what they're doing, that is.
Do you know what you're fucking doing?
No.
But you expect your team to know what they're fucking doing?
Yeah, for sure, because somebody's gonna have to carry my weight.
Okay. So how much of your weight do you want to get carried by others, and how much are you going to carry yourself?
No, for sure. For real, so I'm just gonna have to... the mentality was to first clear C-Val and then start working on the mechanics on Lotus and Damien. And yeah, I should actually just start doing them. I've been kind of like scared, I think, about even trying to run them, struggle them.
Yeah, so there's a huge gap in like you definitely want to like get C-Val under your belt, I think, before you move on. Because there's something weird about you it's kind of like you're trying to run, but you're like walking is not like you're not feeling like 100% about walking yet. So then you're just you're legitimately like feeling uncomfortable with like trying to enter like a running contest when you feel like your walking isn't yet like how good it could be, right? So CVEL is definitely one size smaller. I would say HMAG is typically a little. It's kind of on the level of either CVEL or a little bit above. It kind of depends on what class you are.
Yep.
Do you feel comfortable doing HMAG solo?
No, I don't.
Okay, but you have killed him or?
Yeah, I have cleared it a couple of times, but it takes me a bunch of buff freezers to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the one great thing about Lotus and Damien is you have practice mode, and if you have at least one buff freezer, you can use it, but it doesn't consume the buff freezers.
Right.
So I would say definitely just going into practice mode and just getting ass blasted a few times, just to realize how big of a jump it is, could be a good idea.
Yeah.
And then I would definitely watch some videos about about mechanics, and I have some of those on my channel, some from the perspective of my hero, and some from my marksman from a long time ago, and also the runs I recently did with my cannoneer, who's level 220, that I cleared both on, like very long runs, so you can see all the mechanics. And I talk through them about like where I stand, what I'm doing. It's not as in depth. I'm planning on maybe doing like a super analyzed version of those runs that takes a little bit longer, where I talk more about all of the specific mechanics. Because there's a bunch of things that are going on in my head all the time, right? Because I'm so deep. No, because like every single time where I stand, there's like a bunch of things I'm weighing. Like, okay, what is the odds of him doing this? What are the odds of him doing that? And what is just the safest place to stand, right?
I've been looking for that mindset myself, and I actually just recently watched the video where you do Lotus and the Cannoneer.
Okay.
It was really informative.
Yeah. So yeah, with that one, I think sometimes I just use the iframe on one side and just jump to the other one. Like every class has one thing that they can do. I think the Adele could do that as well, as if you go pretty far to the right, and then like the iframe should allow you to, if you pop the iframe correctly, you should take reduced damage. But it might be a little bit tricky, right? Because if you don't time it properly, you just take 2 ticks and then still die to the second tick to go through the laser. So that's more like a Hail Mary if the laser speeds up, I think. And then to make sure that you can, So, you know, I don't know if have you been in Lotus and tried the boss fight before?
Nah, yeah, on the Evan I have, but on the Adele I haven't.
You know, sometimes when the laser kind of like is quickly like catching up to you, and you're using the diagonal teleport, but it takes a while to register, and sometimes the laser still hits you before the teleport goes through.
Yeah.
Like in that situation, if you press the teleport and it doesn't work immediately, and then maybe you can use the skill, you can use the shield to kind of, you know, at least tank that one extra hit. Yeah, but you definitely want to save it until it's super necessary. But you don't have to be afraid to use it too much, because the cooldown is rather short as well. So it's kind of like with using Flash in League of Legends, right? You want to use it as much as possible, as little as possible. Like you want to have it up so that when there's a situation where you can avoid death or get a kill, then you always want to have it up. But you don't want to just always sit on it, because then eventually you probably missed some opportunities. If you never use it, then you probably use it too little. So it's again, it's always with finding that sweet spot between and that's experience. You can only get that from experience, where you're like, oh, now I should have kept it. This was a better situation to have used it in, and then you end up paying with your life. But as long as you learn from the experience, then it's still value that you get. With Damien, I would say just go in and just try to stay alive for as long as possible the first try. Maybe not even try to hit him, but just like try to just dodge and figure out what the hitboxes are, how fast you can approach him, and just trying to survive in general. And cleansing and the sword and ducking and moving out of the way and just dodging all the attacks. And then once you get that down, then you can start attacking and looking for a party. For looking for a party, there's a few things that I offer. If you join my Discord, there's bossing roles that you can assign yourself to. And one of them is Lotus and Damien, and it's basically everyone who wants to run Lotus and Damien can give themselves that role, and then you can just ping people in that specific, like a specific channel opens up, and in that channel you can just add everyone, because the only people who are in there who gave themselves the role, so you can ask for people in there. And if you can find 1 or 2 people, but you're still looking for more, if you say it in the chat, if I see it, I'll do my best to like shout it out. So if there's 1 or 2 more people in the chat who are also looking, then you can group up, and hopefully you can get 1 or 2 people from the Discord, 1 or 2 people from the chat, and then you'll have 4 or 5, maybe 6 people to try to do the run with. But yeah, your first 5 or 6, well, 3 or 4 runs, I guess, are probably going to be like huge shit shows and clown fiestas. But then hopefully if you get the same group together, you have boss rooms as well in the Discord where you can communicate. Maybe you get a new headset by then. Because talking through the phone while you're bossing is probably not ideal.
Yeah, for sure.
And then just by communicating and by helping each other out, because some people might be struggling with the laser and then have no problem with the rest. Some people might fly through the laser but then get hit by all the platforms in phase 2 and kill the team. Everyone has like different things that they're good at, different things that they're bad at, but hopefully by everyone working on their faults and playing to their strengths, and maybe, you know, playing to whatever kind of class they're playing, focusing on the communication with binds and stuff like that, will help you get to the point where you are able to kill the boss together. And then, you know, as long as you're doing the weeklies for the areas for Scrapyard and Dark World Tree, then the Abzo gear will be soon. I think the Reboot Central Discord also has rooms for Lotus and Damien, but I haven't looked into that. But yeah, maybe people are looking there as well.
Yeah, and honestly, I just was thinking of I gotta try to find a better guild.
Guild could also be an option, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm in this kind of kind of mule guild at the moment. Not useful in the least.
No, not to get boss runs at all. No. Only if you need a bind mule with maybe a good domain, I guess.
Yep.
Which can be very useful for those bosses, of course, as long as they know what they're doing during bossing. But you still need a lot of people who know the mechanics and who can dish out the damage for sure.
Yep.
Okay, so so a lot of it just comes down to when does Absolab come into play. And so I guess we'll kind of gauge and take into account that Absolab will be there within like the next month or so.
Yep.
So we can do some preparations for that, or we'll just talk about like what you could do to prepare for that. Spoiler alert, most of it is just saving up money. One thing that is possible, though, is getting level 150 gear to... if there's a 30% off event announced and you don't have the Abzo yet at that point, you can get level 150 gear to 15 stars during that event to save up money. And then either, you know, safeguard to 16 and transfer hammer it, or wait for a 5, 10, 15, and then 16, transfer hammer, and then back up to 17. And then if you get any like 50% E-pots or something, you can also use them on the 150 gear so that you basically transfer epic potential onto the Absolab when you get it. So for the cape, the easiest is to get the Enraged Sakum cape. For the shoulder, the Sengoku shoulders from Madman. And for the glove and shoe, you can use the Ancient Root shoes and Ancient Root gloves. Do you know where to get those?
Yeah, from the root shop.
Yep.
Red shop, yeah.
And the other one from the black market.
Yeah, exactly. And I've been kind of stacking up on 150 gear exactly for that reason.
Okay, good.
I have a bit.
Oh yeah, you talked about your set bonuses here as well, so let's take that into account. So bonuses include 3 sets here.
Actually, I forgot to include a photo, I think, but I'm running 9 set boss. And 2 set Sengoku, and that's pretty much it. And the synergy ring, yeah. If you count that as a set bonus.
Wait, what was it? What was that last part?
Synergy ring.
Oh yeah,
if you count that as a set bonus.
that technically, yeah, you're right. Technically has a set bonus.
And of course 3 sets CRA.
Yep. What are your situation with Gollux? Because Gollux is like a huge obstacle now, right? To move into.
My situation with Gollux is that I tried running it once, just a couple of days ago on North. I couldn't clear it.
Normal is no problem. Have you tried hard? No.
No, I mean hard. I tried running it on hard and I
Yep.
didn't clear it.
You didn't clear it. Okay.
No.
Was it the teleporting in the phase 2 that got you?
Yep. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much.
Yeah, that is a bit more tricky.
And yeah, and also I'm used to running Golex on the Evan, which has a bunch of ways out. Basically, you have a 10-second iframe, and you have all the AOE's and this shit. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Mm-hmm.
bit easier, in my opinion, with the Evan.
Yeah. Have you considered running hard or Helgolix with a team as well?
No, I haven't actually.
Because they changed the keys, the coins, I mean, to be instants now. So everyone gets their own coins when you clear it. So
right.
yeah. So I also added a group in the Discord for Golux if you want to team up there. So you could try to see if there are people trying to run. And you can also always ask in the chat, of course, as well, if you're trying to be like, hey, does someone want to duo hard Golux, or just so you can get a little bit more experience with hard Golux. Maybe they can talk to you a little bit about the mechanics as well, about what they do. So typically, I try to not use the teleporter at all, because it seems to bug out way too much. You got to be pretty far away from him so you don't get the bomb explosion on you. Whenever you do get the hand, I try to do down jump. Do you know if Hunting Decree flies low enough to be able to hit the potatoes before they get to the middle?
I think they do.
But only when they're really close to the middle, probably, right?
Yeah, exactly. So when they're off to the side, I don't think they can hit it.
It's probably kind of like Nether Shields. Like, you have to make sure that you keep them 100% uptime. Oh, somebody's saying nope. So they don't hit the potatoes? So what do? You use
area, I guess.
Bloom can hit them? Okay, Bloom can sometimes hit them. That's true.
Yeah.
And Rain of Destruction. If you like down jump, throw Rain of Destruction. That'll hit them for a little bit. One thing, if you're getting stressed or like respawning kills you, or you have the bomb on you, if you can get to the portal on the bottom left, you can exit the map, and it'll cleanse everything off of you and just help you catch your breath and rebuff and do whatever you want.
Right.
As long as you don't have any of the purple stacks, of course. If you have purple stack, you can't leave the map.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's too far. You can leave territory. So only Bloom can hit them sometime. That does complicate things.
Yeah.
What we did in the past was like wait until the hand came up and then use the teleporter down, just kill both sides, go back up, and then move to the left again.
Mm-hmm.
Because then while the hand is going down and everything, he's just kind of slow anyway, so he doesn't do any attacks. So it's safer to approach him. Yeah, that might take some... well, maybe some Adeles in the chat can... You can use your ult, go to the side, and burst. Yeah, if you stand way on the edge of the map, of the platform, then the hand doesn't come up. You have to stay right on the corner of the map, though.
Right.
Yeah, I guess throwing down a ruin in the middle and using, what is it, Infinity Blade?
Yep.
Yeah, that should probably do a lot of damage. How far does that get you? Like a ruin and Infinity Blade, does that get you close to clearing the phase 2, or?
Sorta, yeah.
Because once the phase 2 is down, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Because then you're just getting knocked around a little bit. You just have to go down every now and then to kill the potatoes, but your burst should probably still be high enough.
Yep. The crystal, clearing the head crystal is not a problem, but I don't think.
Mm-hmm. I think once you feel more same way that if you feel more confident with C-Val, you can start moving up to Lotus and Damien. In the same way, if you feel more confident with Hardlux, you can start just joining Helix parties, and then you'll have a better chance of you'll have to talk about loot and all of that, but you'll have a better chance of getting some reinforced items to drop, which might be nice, and of course a small chance of superior items to drop, but also more coins per run. So that'll
Yep.
jumpstart the process, because you want those rings, you want that set bonus. It's gonna take a while. So the sooner you can get started on working on that, the coins are gonna have to stack up for months to buy that set. So the sooner you can start clearing that, the better.
Yep.
Yeah, until then, you can just use whatever you're using now. Makes sense. I think the Silver Blossom Ring is probably gonna get dropped the fastest. And then at that point, you can immediately drop one more, because then the set bonus is down to 8 anyway. Which will probably be a monocle for mobbing or mezzo, I think. Right?
Yep.
And then if it gets more damage, then you reroll the Aquatic Letter Eye accessory instead. Kind of just depends on what you get, what kind of potential lines you get on it. And then or the tattoo, I guess. That's the other option. Are you doing Solo Voyages and Senko Mercy to build those up?
Yep, I am.
Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, until then, you basically just keep what you have. It's gonna be it's a long process to get your whole Sengoku set up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be emotional. Okay, so we talked about rerolling the emblem, accessories, a line of drop, or mezzo, plus damage, set bonus there. Yeah, I think a 30% off Star Force event will be really nice for you, because then you can just boost all your stuff up to 15.
Yep, that's what I've been waiting for.
I would only boost things to 15 if you can get them, if you're planning on getting them past 15. Because just getting up to 15 just costs you money but doesn't give you that much. It's the main value is that it helps you get past 15, and that's what gives you a lot. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, on the last 5 and 15 I tried to get my CRA up to 15, but I only got the hat.
Someone in my chat said they got 6 items from 10 to 15 today and on 750 mil.
Holy shit.
That's like the luck. Even during a 30% off, I think that's like way below average cost.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you got the Ayame belt. Oh yeah, you could introduce the Ayame belt, I guess, back instead of the Zakum belt if you drop the.
Yeah. That was something that I was supposed to ask you, because I started using the Zakum belt because I got it as a prop, and it had 6% and 18 stat flame.
And the 10% boss, right, from the set.
Yeah, and it gave me the 9 set, so that's the reason I went with the Zakum belt.
Yeah, no, it seems good for now.
Yep.
I think if you get a stronger, like once you get your first, like Golix ring, right? If you get the solid to a decent amount of stars, then that'll definitely overpower the Silver Blossom by a lot, and then you can switch out the belt as well for Sengoku to like make up for the lost set bonus anyway.
Yep, true that.
That'll make more sense, I think. And then the eye in the face will probably be just switched at the same time once they're past 15 and they're legendary and they have lines, and then you'll just drop from the 7 set to the 5 set, and then at that point hopefully Golix starts kicking in more, and then you'll just slowly be replacing everything anyway.
Yep. That was what I was thinking as well.
Yep. That seems like the more organic way of moving out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like for shoes, gloves, that's all just hold on to whatever you have now and just save up for Abzo, and then you'll go crazy on Abzo. Yeah, depending on how long it takes, either pre-Star Force the 150s or just straight up Star Force on the Abzo. Of course, there's added value in the fact that you wouldn't have to safeguard if you do the 150 that has a lot of backups. So for shoes and gloves, I probably would still try to go that route. The 1 extra star is that's a bit more expensive, of course, but if you do 150 and you wait until 5, 10, 15 event, that extra cost is negligible, but the fact that you don't have to safeguard Abzo, that saves you so much money.
Yeah.
because there's a very low chance to boom, but there is a chance. So if you don't want to risk
Yeah.
it, you got to do it. Yeah. Are you
Yeah,
working?
I gotta tell you, man. I took a chance on my event Superior Galax ring, I think it
Hmm.
was, and that's the last chance I'm taking.
That was one and
Let's say
done.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you hear it a lot. Like people, like when the star catch would when you were like star catching, and then the safeguard would like come off and on, and then people would just accidentally do 12 to 13 one time unsafeguarded, and like first try boom, and yeah,
Yeah.
you hear those stories, and it's so painful. At
Yeah.
least now you can get backups, but it's still a huge problem.
Yeah, and back in the day, that was the reason I actually quit my event for a long while when I
Mm-hmm.
booked the Superior.
Yeah,
Only Superior you could get.
yeah, you could still go for the earring and then 2 pendants and the belt, but yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
yeah.
still a tricky thing to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you going for
Yeah.
the Monster Parker medal?
Yeah, actually, I lucked out Thursday, and I got the Thursday medal of the box, and I'm working on the rest.
With it's the badge, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I'm working on the medal as well,
Okay.
but yeah, I was, yeah, sorry, I
No problem. I mix
confused the
those up
badge and
all
the
the
medal.
time. Yeah, it has like more attack, less stat. Yeah, once you basically get rid of all of the boss accessory set, then you could switch into that one.
Yep,
And then on
exactly.
on Thursdays you'll have a little bit. You want to do all your bosses on Thursday then to get your extra
Yeah,
ID.
yeah, yeah,
It's like, hey, I want to join boss runs Thursday, only Thursday.
yeah.
Anything outside of
Yeah,
Thursday, not optimal.
yeah, but it syncs nicely with the change of the week as well.
Yeah, that's true. And then if you get it done on Thursday, then the whole week is available. The downside is
Yep.
though that maintenances are sometimes on Thursdays, so it can
Yeah.
interfere with how much time you have.
Yeah. But I just really want to get the whole week medal at some point, but it's gonna take a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you'll focus all of your finances and your investment onto the non-weapon Abzos first.
Mm-hmm.
Get all of those up to 17, and probably up to legendary with 2 lions and up to like a nice flame.
Yep.
And then circle back to the weapon, because there's
Mm-hmm.
really no point in investing in the weapon unless you're going for something that's better than what it already has, right?
Yep.
And since you don't
That's
really
what I was
need
thinking.
the damage when you're mobbing, because all of your stuff is going to be upgrading so much, you're even moving into meso obtain and drop rate and still going to maintain your kill speed, so that's going to be no problem.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is though, I forgot about this. Like you also have 10% crit rate on this weapon, right? So that's also something to keep in mind, that if that 10% crit
Yeah.
rate goes away, you have to replace it, and maybe partially with like a magnificent soul, maybe with with the hyperstats, with the legion grid at that point, etc. etc.
Yep.
Yeah. So the weapon will be like the last one that you do, and then you'll be
Yeah.
looking for. Flame-wise, you'll be looking for like the same tier attack and hopefully with some boss damage. That would be the most most efficient. And then potential-wise, mainly looking for attack. If you get a line of boss, that's good too.
Mm-hmm.
If you hit like 2 lines of attack and a line of IED or something,
Yep.
that could finally give you the green light to redo your secondary at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing you could do is work on your Princess No secondary in the meantime.
Yep.
And then maybe if you get the Princess No secondary to like a lot of boss damage, you can use that for mobbing, and then switch to this one for bossing maybe.
Yep.
That's also a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would definitely red cube, rework the emblem. Yeah, in a decent manner. I'll probably wait until we see the next batch of Sunny Sundays, so you can see if there's a 5, 10, 15, if there's 30% off coming, so you can prepare for that and know where to allocate your money. And then once you have that, once you're aware of that information, then use that to see like, okay, where can I throw some money at my emblem to upgrade.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, I would definitely try to aim for like 2 lines of attack. That'll be a huge upgrade. You'll see like how much 1 line of attack versus even 2 lines of damage. It's quite significant.
Right.
Yeah, I talked about this with the last progression as well. There's one major thing that's like really weird, but we'll have to have more people test this, is that the solid ring is supposed to be able to drop from normal.
Solid ring.
Yeah, but the problem is like how common is it, and is it worth killing normal a bunch and then foregoing the extra coins that you can get? Well, the coins, because you don't get any coins from normal, right? You get like the pennies. The coins that you can get from killing hard or hell, versus the value of having extra solid rings, because the solid rings can both be worn and can go up to 20. You can also use it to transfer hammer into the Kana treasure ring, and you can use it to transfer hammer into the Meister ring, which then in turn can transfer hammer again into the superior ring. So they can have a lot of value, but I don't know, realistically I don't think you're gonna get like a solid ring every 3 or 4 runs. Whereas if you kill Helix every day, I think it's anywhere from like 25 to 32 coins, I think. And they and the solid rings were 250, if I remember correctly, or 200 or 250. So when it comes to like buying those straight up with the coins, it's like 7 to 8 days. So that shouldn't be. Yeah, that shouldn't be. Yeah, I can't imagine that killing normal a bunch gives you such a huge drop rate that ends up being more worth. But I guess we'll have to have some people do it to make sure. Because if they do drop at a decent rate. But, I kind of feel like the drop rate of the rings, of the solid rings from normal, are probably similar to like the drop rates of getting superior stuff from Helix, right? Because it's like the highest tier that you can probably get from the boss at that point. So it would make sense to me if they're actually pretty rare. So if you're min-maxing for the end game, you already have everything really that you need. You don't really need a bunch of backups. I don't know. I think it's probably always best to just push for the highest level that you can clear. But I ran normal Galax on my mule for 17 days and got nothing. Yeah, you could be unlucky, but yeah, in those 17 days, if you ran Helix, then you would have been like guaranteed 2 solid rings, right?
Yep.
Because of the backups. I mean, you have to buy them once per week, but you know what I mean, yeah. You got mine within 20 runs on 2 characters. Wait, so 20 runs on each character or 20 runs in total on the 2 characters? $20 on each. Okay, yeah. Okay, never mind. Okay, that's already a decent sample size. Yeah, I think just the guarantee of just running hard or hell. But yeah, try to get familiarized with hard. Practice it a bit more, and then maybe like party join for hell, and that'll help you get settled. Other than that, once Helix start getting into the fray, there's a bunch of level 150 equips that you could prepare, right? So for the belt, you could prepare a golden clover belt, big beam belt. These ones we already talked about. For earring, I don't know if that's worth like prepping anything. Doesn't seem that important. Like if you get a shaman earring or something, if you're in if you're with your Adele in Forsaken Excavation side and you get a shaman earring, but those aren't like super common.
Yep.
I don't know if you've seen them. They look exactly like the Meister earrings.
Yeah, I haven't actually.
But that's something you could do again. But like that depends on the timing of the events, right?
Yep.
And for your weapon, you can prep Fafnir. The gloves we talked about. We talked about the emblem. We talked about the weapon when it comes into the cycle. You have at least 1 shoulder ready. Oh, did it drop as unique? So you have a unique shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a drop off Renmaru.
Yeah. Yeah, well, everything is epic, so there's actually a decent chance for unique, but it's still nice to see that yellow color. Did you ever play the lab server?
No, I didn't.
Okay, because everything would, like, unique would be very common there, and legendary would actually be really, really common as well. So every monster you kill dropped like 8 equips or something, and then it would be more rare to see to see a rare equip than to see unique, for example, because it would just be such high drops. But yeah, the whole floor would just be full of like a legend, all of the different colors like sparkling around. Inventory full every 2 minutes. Yeah.
Must be satisfying to see that.
Yeah, it's nice to have that, but only for a little bit. It's not because it wears off like very quickly as well. Because then something that you loot and that's unique is like, oh, this is just shit. Like I need legendary only now. Like because your baseline just increases immediately, and everything below that just becomes shit. And then you go back. Imagine going from that on lab server and then go back to regular service where you have to like pay money to even get to epic. And it's like, oh god.
Fuck this.
And then the tier up rates of bonus potential and stuff. Like, yeah. Yeah, so accessories first. Keep an eye out for 30% off. Sweetwater Iron Face at some point soon-ish. Switch ring. Hopefully with a Gollux ring soon. Star Force that. Switch out belt back. Yeah, once you get everything 15 stars, I think, either to jump to 17, depending on when the event is, or then it's time for some recubing.
Yep.
And then just aim for, well, probably aim for legendary first on. I still feel like it's just like all about saving up money and then going for legendary first on Iron Face, on the Sweetwater Iron Face and on the Abzo stuff, just because the 160 gets the higher percentage out of it, so it just has more value there.
Yep.
And then slowly over time building up coins, building up Superior, building up Gollux stuff. And then the combination. Then the sets will start coming together. Flaming just on the side. Yeah, and familiar. Probably just getting some ID from familiars, you know, if you already have the drop rate. And it's gonna be about practicing bosses and just not being afraid to fail. But if you do fail, the only real failure is like dying out or running out the clock and not learning anything from it. Like that's the only true failure. If you learn something from it, then you didn't fail. You're just taking a step forward.
Yep, that's really, really one of the things that I just gotta do is start running the bosses and getting familiar with them. For some reason, it's been a mental block for me to not do it.
Yeah, you just gotta go through that forehead. Yeah.
Yep.
One thing I was gonna say for your matrix, do you use speed infusion sometimes?
Yes, for bossing, of course.
Yeah. Okay. And then you switch it the holy symbol with one of the memers for the drop.
Yep.
One of the boost notes. Yeah. Okay. Because getting that extra attack speed is always nice, of course. Faster moving around.
Yeah, and the animations. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Alrighty. Is there anything specifically that you feel like I missed or that you still have questions about?
Not really. Not really. I think we got through it pretty efficiently.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess the Abso is just something I'm kind of wondering on if there's any or if it makes any difference in which order I build up the Abso.
Just whichever one is the biggest upgrade compared to what you already have now. So it's probably going to be the glove first, then the shoe, then the cape.
Yep.
Because the glove will also eventually go into critical damage, right, in the potential. So that makes it the biggest upgrade compared to what you have.
Yep.
And then the cape will be the last one because Tyrant already has such good base stats. So it will be the least in the bump.
Yep. Yep, makes sense.
Okay. Was that the last thing you could think of?
Yeah, pretty much. I think we got through pretty much everything that I was thinking about.
Okay. Well, if there's anything that still comes to mind, I'll throw it on YouTube and everything. Maybe in rewatching it, you're like, oh, during the thing there was something I wanted to to ask, but I
Yeah,
forgot. Then you could
I'm
just
about
yeah.
yeah, I'm about 95% sure that's gonna happen. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, you could
gonna
just
shoot you a message.
yeah, either put it in the comments on YouTube or put it in Discord, and I'll get back to you there if there's still something that you feel that was like left out.
Yeah, sounds great, man.
Okay, well then I wish you good luck.
Yeah, thanks a bunch. Yeah, this was really enjoyable. Thanks a lot.
It was enjoyable for me too. I'm glad it was good for you too.
Yeah, great, man.
And good luck with the working from home. I hope you can go back to social distancing at the job soon.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully. Uh, so far, working from home has been a dream.
Okay.
I just love waking up 5 minutes before starting working. You know,
I have
taking
no idea what you're
take,
talking
taking.
about, dude. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about. That sounds
Yeah,
like a
totally
dream, man. I
foreign to
should try
me.
that. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, one of the dailies the last bit of advice is get the new headset for the boss practice runs, yeah.
yeah, that's something I'm gonna have to do right now, I guess.
Yeah, and just think about what you want to do with the laptop, with the Kana. See if the getting the totems, something like a relay event is like a dream because it's just free reward points just raining just by AFK.
Yep.
Yeah, but anything you can you take along. Maybe check the reward point video about Maple M, how to connect that, how to set that up. That's all explained there, so that'll help you out.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, man.
No
That was
problem.
great.
I'll see you in the chat, and have a great day.
Yeah, you as well, man.
Thank you.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye bye. What a nice